I remember that misty morning like it was yesterday. I was standing on a ridge, looking out over the cornfields below, except they didn't look like cornfields anymore. They looked like they'd been hit by a tornado. But it wasn't a storm that did this. It was a herd of wild hogs, big and mean, tearing through the crops like they owned the place. Rows of corn flattened, sweet potatoes rooted up and tossed around, and muddy hoof prints stomped into every inch of the soil. The stench of them still hung in the air, rank, musky, and wild like something straight out of a nightmare. These hogs ain't like the ones your granddaddy used to raise in a pen. They breed like rabbits and fight like hell. One sow can drop a litter of 6 to 10 piglets twice a year, and before you know it, you've got 100 of them roaming your land, ripping up everything in sight. It's not just the crops. They'll kill chickens, run off livestock, and I've even seen a big boar charge a porch fence like he was ready to move in. Folks around here can't sleep sound anymore. Every night it's dogs barking, flashlights waving, folks yelling out into the dark, and every morning is more damage, more destruction. But we weren't out there for sport. This was about survival, about defending our land, our crops, and our way of life. Wild hogs are smart, dangerous, and relentless. But so are we. And if they think they can take over our fields without a fight, well, they picked the wrong farm. We're ready, and we won't be backing down. One shot, right behind the shoulder. The boar let out a deep grunt, staggered sideways, and collapsed into the dirt with a thud that rattled my bones. No flailing, no second wind, just down. Clean, quick. Then I saw it. Big boar, maybe 250 pounds, black and scarred from years of fighting. It froze when our eyes met, and for a split second, it felt like a showdown. I raised my rifle slow, aimed just behind the shoulder, and squeezed the trigger. One clean shot. The beast let out a grunt, stumbled sideways, then dropped like a tree. After the first hog, things moved fast. The dogs kept picking up fresh scent trails, leading us straight to the herd. With our team split into smaller groups, we managed to corner several of them with no way out. Everyone held their position. Every dog stayed locked on target. When the hogs charged, our rifles were already up. One clean shot, quick and precise. No yelling, no chaos. We moved like a tight, well-oiled machine. At one point, 3 or 4 hogs came crashing through the brush, eyes wild, ready to break through. But the dogs held the line, fearless. We kept calm, took our shots. Each hog dropped in turn. No one panicked. No one got hurt. We didn't celebrate. Just a few nods exchanged as we dragged the bodies off the trail. No wasted words. Every hog taken down meant safer fields for our families. We knew why we were out there. And we weren't stopping anytime soon. We arrived at a new location stretch of dense woods near an abandoned creek bed. Locals said this place was crawling with hogs, especially the big ones. The kind that could tear through a fence like paper and plow through a field in minutes. Right away, we could tell this spot was different. Tracks were everywhere. Deep prints in the mud, fresh droppings, and trees with bark stripped clean where the hogs had rubbed their thick hides. The dogs got excited, noses twitching, tails stiff. They knew what was out here, so did we. This place wasn't just another stop. It was a hot spot, and if the signs were right, We were about to go head to head with some of the biggest hogs we'd seen yet. We checked our gear, tightened our grips, and got ready. The real hunt was about to begin. The deeper we hunted, the more hogs we found, and the more destruction they left behind. It was like every step forward uncovered another sign of chaos. Fields torn to pieces, saplings snapped in half, roots ripped clean from the ground. In one spot, we found a garden completely wiped out, fence knocked down, soil turned over like a plow had gone through. But it wasn't a machine, it was hogs. Big ones, dozens of them, maybe more. The dogs were on edge, growling low, sensing how fresh everything was. We didn't have to say it out loud, we all felt it. This wasn't just a nuisance, this was an invasion. The hogs weren't passing through anymore, they were taking over. Each new track, each grunt from the brush, reminded us how dangerous they could be, not just to crops but to us. They were bold, fast, and fearless. And there were more of them than we'd ever guessed. This was no longer just a hunt, it was a fight to take back the land. Wild hogs may be big, they may be mean, fast, and full of rage, but we're not afraid. Not now, not ever. They can charge with those sharp tusks, try to scatter our dogs, try to scare us off with all that weight and fury, but we stand our ground. We hold the line, because we're not out here for sport, we're out here for the farmers, for the families who wake up to ruined crops, busted fences, and empty chicken coops. We're not backing down, not while they're tearing up our land. Let the hogs come. Let them roar through the trees and stomp the ground. We'll meet them head on every time. One by one, we'll bring them down. Every shot fired, every trap sprung, every step we take is all for the folks counting on us to put an end to this. Watch us. We'll wipe them out. All of them. This land belongs to the people who work it, not the beasts that try to destroy it. After another stretch of hunting, we decided to call it for the day. The sun was dipping low, casting long shadows through the trees, and the dogs were starting to slow down. We'd taken down a few more hogs, tracked fresh trails, and marked new hotspots. It was a solid day's work, but tomorrow had to be better. We gathered around a small fire near the trucks, rifles leaning against trees, dogs curled up at our feet. No one talked much at first, just the sound of gear being cleaned, boots scraping dirt, and coffee being poured. Then, one by one, we started breaking down the day. What worked, what didn't, where we saw the biggest tracks, where the dogs hesitated, where we needed more coverage. Maps came out. We pointed, circled, argued a little, agreed a lot. Tomorrow, we try a new formation split into 2 teams, push from both sides, hit them where they don't expect it, maybe set a few traps overnight, maybe bring extra rounds. Everyone had a role, and everyone took it seriously. Out here, strategy matters just as much as aim, and tonight, we plan to be ready for whatever came next. The next day, the weather was perfect. Clear skies stretched overhead, and the early sunlight filtered through the treetops, casting golden streaks across the damp forest floor. The air was crisp and cool, with that earthy scent of morning dew and old leaves. We were up early, geared up and ready to go, spirits high and energy buzzing through the team. Even the dogs seemed to sense it tails wagging, ears up, eager to get moving. We checked our weapons, strapped on our vests, loaded our packs, and rolled out. It didn't take long. About 30 minutes into the western Woodson area, folks had warned us about we started seeing the signs. Fresh droppings, deep tracks, overturned brush, and that strong musky smell. The dogs picked it up fast. We split into 2 groups and moved in, just like we planned the night before, tight, quiet, covering every angle. Then the action hit. A massive boar, black and thick as a truck tire, tore out of the undergrowth. No hesitation. It charged straight at us like a battering ram, but it ran into our trap. One clean shot to the chest dropped it after a few stumbling steps. Heavy thud, silence. Then we heard more movement. We took down 3 more before noon, 2 big sows, and an old battle-scarred boar. These weren't timid hogs. They were bold, ready to fight, not run. But we held the line. The dogs kept them contained, and our shots were sharp. Every move we made felt solid. No one got hurt. That's what counted. By midday, we dragged the hogs out to the edge of the woods and laid them out. Lined up in the sun, their bodies told the story etch one big, dangerous, and now out of the fight. We were drenched in sweat, hands stained with dirt and blood, but our eyes said it all. This was a win. Another successful hunt. Another step toward keeping the farm safe. But deep down, we all knew this wasn't the end. Not yet. We'd be back tomorrow, and we'd be ready. We wrapped up the hunt with a solid haul several big hogs, each one heavier and meaner than the last. As we stood there looking at the pile, tired but proud, it really sank in. We were making a difference. Every hog we took down meant fewer crops destroyed, fewer sleepless nights for the farmers, and a little more peace for the folks who work this land day in and day out. Yeah, hunting wild hogs isn't easy. It's risky, it's rough. There are moments when things get real tense, when you can feel the danger breathing down your neck. These animals aren't just big, they're smart, fast, and don't go down without a fight. And every trip out there means pushing through thick brush, dodging tusks, and staying alert every second. But even with the sweat, the bruises, and the close calls, we'll keep going because this matters, because someone has to do it. And we've got the grit, the gear, and the guts to face it head on. We packed up as the sun dipped low, dogs resting quietly by our feet. Another hunt behind us, another one coming soon. We'll be ready. The land needs defending, and we're not backing down. Not now. Not ever.